everyone, it's Mary with Happy Pine Soap. Welcome back to my channel. Feel free to hit that subscribe button as I post weekly tutorials for cold process soap makers. Today we're going to make a gorgeous lotus flower. We're using lemon bar and 4 different colored micas today. I used argan oil instead of my sweet almond oil to mix the micas. The different colors are Zero Gravity from Mad Micas, Bubblegum, one of my favorite pinks, Twilight, a beautiful deep blue, and last but not least, Sour Lemons, another really beautiful yellow that stays true in cold process soap. Don't forget to burp your stick blender, and I only blended this to emulsion, so about 20 seconds. You want your batter to stay nice and fluid, so make sure you're picking a recipe that will stay fluid for about 20 or 30 minutes, if possible. Now you see me separating the batches for the 4 colors. Each color got about 12.5 ounces of batter. Here you see me mixing the micas into the soap batter. Notice that it's nice and fluid. I would say a very light trace, and you don't see the soap batter sink at all as I test it there at the top with the swirl. It stays right there at the top, and you can barely see the tracing in the soap batter, so that means it's at the correct trace, which is a very light trace right now. Now you're ready to pour it into your mold. Hopefully you have one with dividers. This one is bought on Amazon, by the way, for anybody who would like to know. You're going to go ahead and fill up the colors almost all the way to the top. You could leave a little bit of extra in your pour container if you'd like to use a bit. When you pull the dividers out, sometimes the soap sinks a little bit down, and so sometimes it's nice to have a little bit left in the pour container just to top it all off and neaten up the lines in the soap as well. Okay, what you see me doing here is I've decided to add a little bit of interest to the pink layer. I went ahead and pre-mixed some copper mica, and I'm dropping in some droplets across the surface of the pink. And then I will go ahead and use the rest of the pink soap batter to swirl over the top of these copper droplets. I was hoping that they would show up in the swirls, and they actually did. So I was pretty pleased by this last minute kind of artistic license, trying to get a little bit of creativity here in this design. And so yeah, go ahead and finish off your pink layer, just as I'm showing here, if you would like to do the same idea. And then you will finish your other 2 colors here, the blue and then the bright lemon as well, the sour lemons. Hey guys, okay, this is the unfortunate part of the video. I have tried all day to get this video made, and this part of the video is not processing. So technical difficulties, not much you can do. And in the life of a YouTuber, this occasionally happens. I'm so sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate what the swirl should look like just with a simple empty mold, basically, since I cannot get the original clip to process and to show up here. I apologize. I'll link my original Taiwan Swirl that I showed before, actually, successfully on my YouTube channel. I'll link that video below because it's the identical swirl, essentially. The only difference is how many times you circle the mold. You'll see what I mean, but I'll link that in the description below so that you at least can see it with soap as opposed to just this quick demonstration that I'll show you next. Okay, what you're going to do is essentially with a chopstick or a thin wooden dowel. I'm obviously not using a pencil. This is just to illustrate how to do the swirl. But essentially you're going to start at one side of the mold here, and you go up and down in this simple kind of vertical motions here across your 4 layers. And you will do that all the way across the mold, just simple up and down. I have another video on the Taiwan Swirl, and it's identical to what I'm showing you here, and I will link that below in the description so that you can actually see it with soap as well. And then the only difference between the original Taiwan Swirl, which I linked below, and this one is how many times you swirl in a circle. So once you get down here, you just now start circling, and I circled for a total of 6 times basically. So you will essentially just do the 6 swirls and you will have a beautiful lotus flower just like mine. And yes, when you are doing this, you want the chopstick to go all the way down to the bottom as well. So essentially I can't do it because the dividers are here obviously, but essentially you would be all the way down at the bottom of the mold as well as you're swirling. Hopefully that helps. Okay, you're ready to oven process your soap when you're done swirling. Basically, you put it in a warm oven that's been warmed to 170 degrees. You turn the oven off, then you put your soap in. You turn the oven light on, and then you leave it there for a few hours. You can take it out then and let it rest on the counter overnight, which is what I did. And in the morning, this is what it looked like. Isn't it gorgeous? Ah, absolutely love it. I also used a very steep water discount. This is a 50% lye solution to reduce soda ash and to make it harden even quicker. You're going to be cutting your loaf into 3 equal portions, just like you see me doing here. And instead of cutting each of these separate sections vertically, you're going to be cutting them horizontally to reveal the lotus flower. I'll show that to you in just a moment. Now you're ready to start revealing your beautiful flower. So as you see, I'm putting it on its side now, and you basically are cutting it in half. Each of these bars is a little over 1 inch thick. And as you cut it and put it together, you'll see that it forms an absolutely gorgeous lotus flower. Ah, it's just perfection. The design is actually relatively easy to create with these dividers in these molds, but the finished design looks so complex. You know, I would never know unless, you know, I had seen it made myself, you know, just actually how simple this design is. It's actually quite beginner friendly, as long as you have a fluid recipe. That is the kicker. I've worked really hard on this particular recipe. It's taken me over a year to perfect. And it is just my favorite fluid recipe that I use all the time to create these gorgeous designs. If any of you would like some help with figuring out how to create a recipe, let me know. I've been thinking about making a video on that as well. Feel free to drop me a comment below if something like soap calc or making recipes would be helpful for you guys. Now you see me essentially trimming off the sides of the soap with a simple vegetable peeler. This one is from IKEA. I like to bevel the soap as well because when you're using it, sometimes as the bars get really nice and hard as they cure, they can feel a little bit, I wouldn't say sharp, but a little hard in the hands, and it's not as comfortable to hold them. So beveling them makes them so much nicer. And then as you're using the soap, it's a nice smooth feel in the hands as well. If you've made it to the end of my video, I so appreciate you watching it. It really helps my channel grow. The more my videos are watched and the more you guys engage with my channel. And I appreciate all of you so much. Again, if you would like me to create any other videos, feel free to drop me a comment. I try to release soaping videos weekly, so feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. And I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on where you live. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.